You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And you, in order to break out of where you are now, it takes everything in you. Everything. You have got to decide, no, I want to do something else. No, find something that you love, not just anything. Find something you love. I love speaking. I love helping people. This is the calling on my life. And I spent time to learn. When you are not willing to learn, you got to go get a job and keep it as long as you can until they let you go, until you are replaced by artificial intelligence. The coronavirus is not the only thing that's eliminating jobs, or until your company closed down because of the effects of the coronavirus and because of the decisions of you can't gather but a limited number of people in a certain given area. That's too precarious. That's too unpredictable. It's better to have something else going for you and not need it than to need it and not have it. No, don't wait for the hammer to drop. Why, Les? Because you can't think. You can't think. When you get fired, you can't think right away. When you get behind on your bills, you can't think right away. If you get 3 months behind your bills, trust me on this, know this, been there, bought the t-shirt. It takes more than 3 months to catch up. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you what I know. When you don't have money, you don't get 31 days out of the month or 30 days. You get 2 weeks out of the month. What do you mean? Let me repeat. When you owe money and you don't have enough money coming in, you don't get 30 days out of the month. What happened to the 30 days? Well, you get 2 weeks. Well, what happened to those other 2 weeks? They're gone. You start saying, didn't I just pay this yesterday? I know I just paid this yesterday. I'm telling you, time moves by faster when you're under pressure, when you're under the gun. That's why you have to be proactive. I want you to put voice in the comment section, if you agree with me, if you understand what I'm saying, if you can feel me in your heart, if you don't want to live life cringing and, oh my God, I got knots in my stomach. I don't want to open up my email. I don't want to receive a text saying that my job has been replaced and sent overseas, or they have eliminated my division. Well, I've been laid off because of the coronavirus. It's a time to be inspired and motivated, to be your own boss, to create your own business, to use your ideas and your thinking. You are more talented than you give yourself credit for being. People say necessity. Necessity is the mother of creation. No. Refusing to accept things as they are is the mother of creation. Refusing to put yourself in a vulnerable position where somebody else is controlling your destiny. Refusing to be a part of the journey of the broke. Refusing to be lazy and ignorant of your potential and not having the courage to bet on you. Refusing to recognize the reality that you're made in the likeness and image of God and been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Refusing to acknowledge that you're more than a conqueror, that you can do all you can do and God will do what you can't do. No, that's not you. You're listening to me. Everything I'm saying is common sense, but not common practice. I've been stuck. I know what it feels like. The things I should do, I don't do, and the things I shouldn't do, I do. I know if I had my life to live over again, I could have done more than what I have done thus far. For a long period of my life, if I had to characterize it, I was crazy with a K. With a K. I'm not proud. I'm telling you. Maybe something wrong with me now with this flat top from the 80s. You know what? The afro is the only hair that defies gravity. Everybody else's hair lays down on their head, but the afro. I mean, to have a flat top, come on now, with no glue, no super glue to make it stand up. Oh, behave, hello, whatever. To do something that you love. If you enjoy making people feel good, if you enjoy working with kids, if you enjoy helping people learn how to create a bridge from where they are and to the next greatest version of themselves, if you want to do something that gives your life a feeling of significance, of purpose and meaning, of love, of joy, that you look forward to doing it. You know how many people are stressed out now? Listen, even our children, it's affecting them, the little teeny weenies. It's affecting them. I saw this movie. It's a jaw dropper. It's called, what is it? Social. Oh my goodness. It escapes me right now. Social something. It's on Netflix. Just Google it. Then somebody knows. But the social dilemma. The social dilemma. You watch that, it will scare you. That's why it's important that you work on you to improve you. We're being programmed over 5,000 advertising hits on our minds every day. And when you look at the algorithms and our telephone and the computer and all the various platforms that are designed to suck us in and to control our behavior, to manipulate us, occupying our minds every day, fighting for territory in our minds every day. This is a different space. This is a different space. You want to be vigilant. Be you not conformed to this world. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. You want to unplug from this thing called life. You don't want to be conformed like everybody else. Listening to what everybody else listens to. You monitor your thinking. You monitor. Be proactive in programming your mind, because if you don't program it, trust me on this, it will be programmed. Live life like you mean it. It will be programmed. One sickness, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I resigned from the Ohio legislature. I just got reelected my third term to go back to Miami to take care of the woman who God took me out of my biological mother's womb, but placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. This has made me proud. Oh, she covered the ground she walked on. That's what the lady from hospice said when she took her last breath, as I held her hand. And what I learned about my mother, the spirit of independence, of believing in yourself. I learned that from her. And she wanted to raise children. She never had any children herself, but she said, I want to share my life with children. And a reporter asked her, this is after I got a show called The Les Brown Show with King World. They paid me $5 million to do. They asked her, how did you know you can raise 7 children by yourself? She said, I just believe the Lord will make a way somehow. Les, I don't know how to do what you do, so I didn't either. You've done a lot of things that you didn't know how you would do it. There's a reason we're told to walk by faith and not by sight. People say, well, if I see it, I believe it. No, if you believe it, you see it. Live out of your imagination. Live out of your imagination. Don't judge according to appearances. You have the potential to do more. That's why they say greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. What do you mean by that? You do what you can do to the best of your ability. And God, I know this to be true, will do what you can. Angels will be dispatched to serve you. Doors will be opened that you did not see. But you mess with me. Don't argue for your limitations because you get to keep them. I'm telling you what I know. You want to get fired up about your new future. You want to turn that television off and get moving in the direction of the next greatest version of yourself, because you have greatness in you, and you cannot tap into that greatness operating within your comfort zone. When you're willing to bet on you, when you're willing to become a risk taker, this God said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? Hello? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Not living a stress-filled life. You can't be happy when you're filled with anxiety. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. No! You want to be focused on creating the next greatest version of you. No, hearing my Father glorified that ye bear much fruit. You are here to do the greater work. No, this is not it for you. This is a new beginning for you. You were born to be happy and successful and prosperous and healthy. You were born for that. And you have to have a spirit of optimism. You have to have a kind of energy that says, it's not over until I win. Watch you want to get motivated? Oh, I'm just so tired. Yeah, whatever. You've done things where you say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. You weren't. You did what you can do. You got into position and God did what you could not do. If you feel me in your heart. If you're ready to do something that you love. If you're ready to use your story and the things that you've gone through and the things that you've overcome and to help people and to make money too. And if you're ready to get your hustle on, nothing works until you work. They told me, oh, Les, you'll never be successful being a motivational speaker. There are over 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. They're not 3,000 Les Browns. You think I care anything about that? You think I give a fat rat's butt about that? Oh, there are 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. Well, guess what? None of them are Mamie Brown's baby boy. None of them have a flat top like House Party, Kid and Play and I'm Kid. Oh, behave. It's not true because I said it, but I said it because it's true. Oh, behave, baby. You make me angry. I have so much fun. It's great to be me. If you love having fun, listen, get around the right people. If you love having fun, get coaching and direction by someone who's doing what it is you want to do and has accomplished a great deal and has a program to teach you how to do it, to shorten your learning curve. Spend more time working to improve yourself. Spend more time working on yourself than your job. Don't knock on an open door. I wish someone had said that to me years ago. Because for a long period of time, I was seeking answers, trying to find success. Going through all type of self-discovery processes, putting a lot of time and energy, searching to discover myself, looking for ways in which I could be able to provide for my family, be able to take care of my mother, be able to do something that was me. Listen to me. Do something that was me. Something that I loved, something that gave my life a sense of significance, something that I would enjoy doing 7 days a week, something that I love so much that I would do it for nothing. But because I love it so much, I would always want to do my best at it because it's something that I do. It's who I am, and I just want to be awesome at it. You have something like that? My cousin Boo, who made his transition, he loved to cook, so he cooked. He cooked, and boy, when he cooked, when Boo cooked, angels stopped flapping their wings. And I said, uh-oh, Boo's in the kitchen. Y'all stop that, Gabriel. Y'all need to hush back there. Boo cooked it, don't interrupt now. Boy, Boo can cook. Oh my goodness, I miss him so much. And stop knocking on an open door. All my life, when I look back, because I did not recognize and use my gift in a different way. I didn't value it. And you know why I didn't value it? Because I didn't believe in it. I did not believe in it. And as a result, I did not use it. I did not use it to serve at a higher level, to make a greater impact. And because I did not use that which was me, I paid a price. I ended up doing things that it was not me. Working on jobs, it was not me, and I knew it. I just go in there to make some money. We were born to do a special work. You were born to do a special work. You are here for a reason, to do the greater work. Not just work for a living, but to make a difference with your life. And it just got me just reflecting, Mr. Leroy Washington, who had an impact on my life. And I got a call that Patsy, his oldest daughter, passed. I remember Patsy, wonderful, wonderful young lady. And I just thought about the fact that we all have an expiration date. All of us are going to leave here. Nobody has figured out how to get out of here alive. And so, stop knocking on an open door, Athea Grant said to me. And I'm about to do an event with her in the UK virtually. Let us be clear. I spoke in Hong Kong last night, and China, and several other countries with Kim Wee. Virtually, it was fascinating. All the tools we need in order to become successful. In fact, I should be able today, I might get a recording of the last time I was there, and I will share that with you. It was quite an incredible, magnificent experience. But here's what is very important, is to take the time and ask, what is it that I love most? And what is it that people compliment me on that I might have dismissed, that I might have not thought was no big deal to me because it came so naturally, it came so easily. That is my gift, that's my superpower, but I dismissed it. What is that? What does that look like? For years, I did not recognize that my ability to communicate, to reach people, to make people feel good, to inspire them, to uplift them, to give advice, to make them laugh, to motivate them. I didn't think that was no big deal. I just did that, like sleeping, making people laugh, selling wolf tickets while shooting pool, playing chess, playing bid whist, playing cards. No big deal. I didn't recognize, I didn't value it. I'm saying to you, live your life being present to who you are and what your superpower is, and we have all the tools that we need to monetize it, to make it work for us. And I'm saying, don't be a volunteer victim. You've got something. You came here with something. You were chosen. God don't choose people who don't have anything going for them. There's something you have going for them. You just haven't discovered it yet. Just like me, I had a lot going for me. And for a period of time, I went unemployed. For a period of time, I went from being fired from one job to the other, as opposed to hiring myself, because I didn't know what I had going for me. I didn't know. And so because I didn't know, I didn't take the time to discover that. I didn't invest any time, any money, any energy, any effort to cultivate that. I didn't ask those questions. Why are you here? What are you supposed to do? How do you take that which you say that you want to do and find a way to monetize it? See, that whole thing about, Adam, where are you? Where are you? Life is a question. And how we answer the question is the answer. Where are you, Les, in relationship to who you know you should be and what you should be doing? And what are you going to do about it? I talked about Tennessee Williams, who said there comes a point in your life when you look in the mirror and who's looking back at you realizes that's all you're ever going to be. Wow, what a blow, what a punch in the gut. So fortunately, I didn't settle. There was something that was restless in me, something that said there's got to be more. Have you ever asked yourself that? There's got to be more than this. There's got to be. And I kept seeking, I kept working at it and working on the possibility of how I can reshape and redesign my life, because the one that I was living wasn't me, and he had to go. That's why Paul said, I must die daily. That all of us know at the moments in our lives that there are parts of us, that character's got to get out of here. That does not work for me. It might work for somebody else, but that does not work for me. But for a period of time, I did not use my gift until, and don't let it take you this long, I mean my real gift. I was 37. That's a delay. My real gift. I was able to become a disc jockey, and that was good. I enjoyed that. I love that. I can be a disc jockey now. And I enjoyed being a state legislator. But speaking and motivating people, my real gift, my superpower that I used last night when they brought me on the Zoom before an audience of thousands of people, that's the voice. That's the one. That's the Les Brown. That's his power voice. Why? Because I'm in my power. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I came here to motivate. I came here to inspire. I came here to uplift spirits. I came here to give people a larger vision of themselves. You came here to do something. You came here to make a difference. You came here to live an impactful life. You came here to leave the world in better shape than how you found it. Yes. You came here to allow people to know that what they have experienced, the abuse that they've gone through, does not have to define them. You came here as a guide, as a light, to help people use the steps and the process and the mindset that you had to navigate and bring themselves out of the valley. Yeah, you came here for something. Yeah, because you decided that what you went through would not define you. You decided that.
Everybody can transform a kind of inconvenience in a huge advantage.
Without any question, and it takes work. Now, there's no question that there are certain situations and structures around the world that don't allow people to dream. You know, I'm doing some work in South Africa right now, in Johannesburg. And my first step is to help people to learn how to dream, because they were under apartheid, a form of enslavement that did not make dreaming possible. And there are other places around the world that are just like that right now. That's destroying people's dreams. And I think that's why we see such global upheaval in terms of many dictatorships, because people are becoming more enlightened. In 2007, Time magazine recognized the computer of the person of the year. And the reason it did, because it gives everyday people access to information that they never had before. And so now people with that access of information becoming more enlightened, and it's causing a great deal of disturbance with various types of governments around the world.
It's huge. My message in France, and I would like to spread that everywhere, it's you have a dream, it's possible, so take an action now. How can I help people to believe it's possible?
It's an ongoing process. The faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. That's what my favorite book says. That you have to be an unreasonable person who's not looking at and judging the circumstances such as you see them. But you're calling forth those things that be not as though they were. And if you read the book called Change or Die by David Dushman,
I will do.
He said there's a person who is an unreasonable person who brings a message that it's possible and repeat that message. And there are people who hear that message who are able to relate to it and identify with it. And then they begin to move from and develop a whole approach to life with that new level of enlightenment, that as he speaks or she speaks, it begin to give people a vision of themselves beyond their circumstances and their mental conditioning, and challenges them to begin to embrace some habits that cause them to make some new choices that will help them to carve out and become the architect of their future, as opposed to becoming volunteer victims.
Great. You do a lot of speeches all around the world, and you are not the only speaker. A lot of speakers are. So, according to you,
I'm a trainer. I'm known as a speaker, but my gifting is I started out as a trainer, teaching people how to live their dreams, teaching them how to use their voice and their story and leverage their knowledge to go from being local to being global. That's what my gifting is in.
So, as a trainer, why there are some speaker or trainer who give only a kind of information, at the end you say, oh, it's interesting, and other speakers like you, according to me, and you feel something and you're not thinking about, oh, it's interesting, but I can do that. I want to take an action. I want to change something in my life. I don't know if it was interesting, but I will change something in my life. What are the differences?
Well, there are many speakers think that people are stuck because of lack of information. I always say, if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. They don't need us to come in and speak. They can go online, they can Google the information. So information alone cannot create transformation. That in order to change human behavior, you have to create a significant emotional event. The materials that I provide, the training that I provide, is designed to impact a person's mind, their heart, and their spirit. And so the goal is to distract, dispute, and inspire, to interrupt their story. How people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. So when I'm training speakers, I teach them how to become a strategic, experiential storyteller, be strategic on how they use their story. You never make a point without a story, and you never tell a story without a point. And experiential Because Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And so when you take that approach to change how they think and what they feel, then you now have positioned yourself to begin to create a thirst. There's no saying you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. You create a thirst where they want to drink, where they want to change. And now you have, because of their encounter with you, you have now allowed yourself to be an instrument, as Mother Teresa would say, in the hand of God. And now that person will begin to write a new chapter with their lives. So it's about how do we change the story that people believe about themselves that's been given to them by life, given to them by their circumstances. We learn between ages 0 and 5 what's available for us and what's not available for us. And based upon those experiences and the people around us and our environment, a word formulates in our mind. It's either yes or it's no. A word formulates in our heart. It's either yes or no. It formulates in our spirit, yes or no. And there's various things that can impact the formulation of that word and the conviction behind it and how we move our lives forward. My goal, if the word is no, is to interrupt that word and to change it to a very affirmative yes.
It's great. I love that. How to have a strong will? Because a lot of speakers are speaking about you have to have will, but how?
Will is, that's why I talk about the mind, the heart, and the spirit. The reason we celebrate Nelson Mandela is that for 26 years, they tried to control his mind. They were able to control his body. But most importantly, they couldn't break his spirit. And so that deep down resolve, that dimension that's available to all of us was explained to us in the book called Man's Search for Meaning, that Viktor Frankl, that there's a part of us that's always a part of us that's in our hands, that the irreducible essence of who you are, that either you say yes or no, not based upon the circumstances, not based upon the pressure that's applied, but based upon your conviction. Are you going to give this the power to take advantage of you? Are you going to turn yourself over to this? We always have that choice. That's the greatest choice that human beings have. Am I going to give myself a pass to surrender, or am I going to stand up? I remember telling a story when I produced my first PBS special on public television of a man who came by a house and there were people on the porch talking, and there was a dog moaning and groaning. And the guy was curious, and he went back and he asked the owner, "Why is this dog moaning and groaning?" And the owner said, "Because he's lying on a nail." Guy said, "Well, why won't he just get off?" He said, "Because it's not hurting bad enough for him to get off. Just hurting bad enough for him to moan and groan." And so what most people do in life, they have the power to change their circumstances. You are made in the likeness and image of God. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. But most people rather moan and groan about their situation, show up in their lives as volunteer victims, rather than become actively engaged in doing the work necessary to change their circumstances. It's been said there are two types of people, those who work and those who watch them. So you got to be willing to do your internal work so that you have the mental resiliency, and your external work finds something that you want to master that will allow you to move yourself forward.
Wow. So we have to, the first step is to find what we want to master.
Why are you here? What's your reason for being? Why do you get up in the morning? Most people don't have a clue. Pay the bills, keep a roof over your head. I think we have to reflect on, who am I? Why am I here? What drives me? If I died today, what 3 words would I want said about me if I died today? You know, what is it that defines me? You know, and how do I define myself? Most people allow their circumstances to define them, as opposed to defining themselves and how they're going to show up in life. And so my mission is to help people to connect with the power they have within, their greatness. When you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are, so you act like you don't have any. And when you live from that place, you can now be able to make a greater contribution and make a greater impact with your life because of the fact that you see yourself in a larger context. One of the principles, there are 9 principles that we teach of greatness.
Yeah.
The first one is each of us can achieve far beyond our horizons and in avenues of life we have never explored. But most people settle in and accept things in life as it has been given to them, as opposed to rising above that, working to create something that they can feel good about.
It's the first person principle.
Yes.
What are the next?
The next one is we must take responsibility for our actions and our reactions.
Yeah.
When you look at your circumstances, George Bernard Shaw said, the people look for the things that they want in life, and if they can't find them, they create them. And so when we look at ourselves, it's about doing that. It's about taking ownership for your stuff, for your life. And one of the things I emphasize, that changing is not easy, that changing your life, changing habits, reinventing yourself, picking yourself up after life has knocked you flat on your back. I've got to say, when life knocked you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Well, that sounds cute, but that's not easy. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer 17 years ago, that first time that happened, I said, hey, I can handle this. Then when it came back a year later, last year, 17 years later, and this time, it metastasized to 7 areas of my body and ate 40% of my T1 vertebrae. Now the stakes are higher. It's this life saying, okay, Mr. Motivator, you beat cancer the first time. What you gonna do now? I started laughing. When the doctor told me, he said, why are you laughing? Are you in denial? I said, no. I said, I feel like Mother Teresa. He said, what do you mean? She said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you to have so much confidence in me. I said, the stakes are higher. So I've got to dig in and got to fight more, because at the end of the day, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. And so it's a fight, it's a challenge in life every day. And what we have to do is embrace it. What we have to do is see it as a project to be worked on. I read something once that I live by. It said, in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. And so I see even cancer as a gift, as a God-ordained opportunity.
It is a kind of test for you to improve
It's a
yourself.
test, right? No test, no testimony. Yes.
Wow.
And so you have to be willing to step up and handle it. Anybody can have faith, David. If the bills are paid, if they have their health, the marriage is working out fine, the children acting like they have good sense, they have a lot of money in the bank, a lot
Everything
of
is perfect.
investment. Anybody can have faith under those circumstances. The true challenge of faith is when life knocks on the door. The true challenge when you lose your health, or something happens to someone you care about, or you lose your wealth, or some tragedy happens to you. All of us over the next year will experience at least 3 tragedies. We will experience it personally, or someone we care about. Charles Udall said in life, he said, things will happen around you and things will happen to you. But the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. And that's where, that's our domain. That's where we have the control.
Yeah, we choose the answer.
Yes, we did too. And we choose how we're going to respond to this. Will I allow this to get the best of me? Will I allow this to stop me? Am I going to surrender to this? Will I give myself a pass? Will I wimp out on myself? That's always a choice.
I love that. In the speech, just before you say a sentence that I love, can you repeat it about the fact that when it's hard?
If you do what is easy.
Yeah, I love that.
Giving yourself a pass, giving yourself permission to stop. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because it was hard to make the radical change in my approach, my dress, my learning the language of corporate America, gaining access, developing myself an intellectual resource where corporations would reach over people with years of experience, PhDs and MBAs, and I have no experience and no credentials, and be able to compete with them. It was hard, but we can do hard. All of us have moments in our lives when things have been thrust upon us and we had to do hard. So if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. And so don't give yourself a pass. Don't run away from hard, because you can do hard. And through that, you discover a part of yourself that you would not know otherwise.
Yeah, you are building your power when you have challenges and when it's hard.
Yes, those things only happen through growth experiences, through challenges. If you go to the gym to work out and you don't feel any discomfort the next day, here's what we know: you haven't done anything. And so you got to challenge yourself. And you're going to get hurt. You know, Viktor Frankl calls it unavoidable suffering. Life is full of pain and disappointment. It's a part of the process.
And we are proud of ourselves when we overcome something.
When we overcome things, we discover things about ourselves. No tests, no testimony. No guts, no glory.
Yeah.
And I was doing a broadcast once, and a guy was coming up, and he had crutches. He was coming up to be interviewed by me, and he missed a step, and he fell. It was a very embarrassing moment. And I went down to help him get up. And he said, "Don't feel sorry for me or be embarrassed." He said, "It goes with being a paraplegic. I fall all the time." And so we fall all the time in life. We make mistakes all the time in life.
Yeah.
You know, there's no life without mistakes. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. It's worth doing right if you know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, it's worth doing badly until you get it right. All of us are going to fall on some tough times. 8 out of 10 millionaires have had to file bankruptcy. It's a part of the process. We go up, we go down. And we learn things during the tough times. That's where we really learn things. That's where we begin to discover things about ourselves. Adversity introduces you to yourself, that are part of yourself that you would never know otherwise when things are going real good for you. And so what we have to help people to understand is to maintain a spirit of optimism in spite of their circumstances, to give them hope. Why? Because when there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. So my goal is training 100,000 voices of hope who will do 3 things. Help give people hope. That's number 1. Number 2, teach them methods that will help them to develop the desire to reinvent themselves so that they are not replaced by an app or outsourcing, because this is a time where you have to continuously reinvent yourself to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor around the world. That's number 2. Continuing to work on yourself and growing and developing. And the third thing is to build communities, collaborative, achievement-driven cultures, supportive cultures that'll help you to get to the next level. Have a group we call ourselves Cancer Conquerors. And so one goose can fly 75% further in formation with other geese than he could ever fly by himself. So if you got 100,000 voices giving people hope, that's number 1. Number 2, encouraging them to develop their capacity, their skill set. There's no shortage of opportunity. There's a shortage of capacity to take advantage of the opportunities that are available in the global economy. And encouraging people to create communities of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. We can accomplish anything.
And how can the people and me can contribute to these dreams?
They can email me at yes@lesbrown.com. yes@lesbrown.com. And we'll be set up within a few weeks and send them out some information. But also in the meantime, what we will do is send them a video that as they watch this, they'll see the message that I'm bringing and a format. We're going to be teaching them the 7 principles of storytelling so that they can learn how to influence and impact and change lives, one-on-one, small groups, or in large groups.
Yeah. So with 100,000 voices, you can make a big difference in this world.
Absolutely, yes. That's the goal. And we want 100,000 voices outside of politics and outside of religion, both of which polarize and divide people. Just everyday people. I'm not an educated guy. If both my parents came in here right now, I would not know either one of them. I'm adopted. I don't have any credentials. I'm just an average person, and who I have a desire to make a difference with my life, to live a life of significance, and to live a meaningful life, and to help others who have a desire to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me share with you some of these quotes I got from them, and I would speak on it, okay? Speak extemporaneously during the time that I responded. I want you to like this page and share it. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. Like this page and share it. Here's one. Are you waiting on the illusion of perfection before you go live with your life? See, a lot of people, they procrastinate. Well, I'm not good enough yet. You're not good enough yet. Are you waiting on the illusion of perfection before you go live with your life? Are you aware of the fact that you will fail your way to success? Are you aware of the fact that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great? Are you willing to let something die in you today that you should be going live with tomorrow, waiting on the illusion of perfection? I was one. Let me go to the other one. I just love this. Okay. Are you allowing the fear of tomorrow rob you of the joy of today? This is by Steve. Are you allowing the fear of tomorrow rob you of the joy of today? You know, a lot of people, they have a fear-driven life. And when you have a fear-driven life, that it's been said that most of the fears we have, 95% of them never happen. That the fears that most of us conjure up in our minds and waste a lot of energy over, gain weight over, digging early graves with our teeth, turning our hair gray, or losing weight, never happen. And we allow those fears that we have of what might happen to rob us of the joys of today. No, today is all you have. Life has no duplicate. Enjoy what you have where you are right now. Do what you can where you are with what you have right now, and God will do what you can. He wants us to be joyful. And there's a difference between being joyful and being happy. Being happy, that's dependent upon circumstance. But joy, come on now. Joy passeth all human understanding. What do you mean by that? Because people wonder, how can you be joyful given what's happening to you or given what you've gone through? How can you be joyful given what life has done to you or given your situation? We visited people in the hospital, one in one bed, same condition, just as joyful. Another person, oh, I don't know. The Lord is able. I'm just trying to make it, honey. One foot on the banana peeling and the other one in the graveyard. No, don't allow anything that you worry about rob you of your joy of today, especially if it involves somebody else. Wherever they find themselves, at some point in time, they made an appointment to be there. You control you. You live your life. Stop trying to play God. You can't control nobody. I don't care how much you love them. You can't control their choices and what direction they decide to take their lives in. Oh, that sounds hard. I know. You know what this is? The world's smallest violin playing the world's saddest song. Be joyful. So they were just throwing different quotes, and then they would take their tag and tag it and do their piece with it, or they'll take a part of their story and they'll do their take on their story. And then I'll ask, can I take a swing at that, please? And they said, sure. And when I finished, they say, you know what? You told my story better than I told my story. We have a wonderful community of people who love to change lives. If that's you, if you have a story, you want to learn how to tell it, get it out, make more money with it, increase your cash flow, be a voice of influence and develop a national and global reputation with your story like I have, I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. Go there now. Go there to hungrytospeak.com and become a part of our community. And that's really, really, to me, the most important part, because when I started out, all I had was Mike Williams, my mentor. Mike Williams, who wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff, and he was coaching me. But when you're in a community of people, and trust me on this, right now, more than ever, it's very important to be in a community of like-minded, positive people who lift your spirit, iron sharpening iron, people who bring value to you, people where you can develop strategic partnerships, people that you can work together, people that are motivated and driven and have a focus of what they want to do with their lives. This is a time, and this is a quote that deals with this. Preparation. Prepare yourself to be positioned so that your life will be in a good place when whatever happens comes your way. Question is, are you willing to be patient with the preparation? See, a lot of people want success right now. They want mastery right now. They want to be great right now. No, it ain't that kind of party. Mastery takes time. It takes time, and it takes coaching, and it takes practice, and it takes being around other people in a group that you feed off each other and give each other strength and hold each other accountable. And magic happens when you do that. Oh, trust me on this.